managing conflict in relationships, despite how hard it is. I am making loving relationships successful. We need this attitude of commitment. Managing and coping with differences and emotional conflict is part of being in love. I want to share some things, for whatever it's worth, I've learnt about managing conflict in loving relationships. And I've had a few experiences. Relationships are hard. Trust me, they require work, communication, and a whole lot of patience and understanding. But they're also incredibly rewarding. When you're in a healthy relationship, you have someone to rely on, someone to confide in, someone to make you laugh, and a buddy with whom ultimately you can share your innermost feelings and thoughts to help you understand yourself better and their self also. However, even the healthiest of relationships are sometimes challenging because it's on a deep level. It's not your everyday level that you're doing this stuff in love. So they're more sensitive. There will be disagreements and arguments. That's just part of being in a deep, loving relationship. But what's important is how you handle these disagreements, arguments, challenges, different views, different opinions. Do you let them ruin your relationship by talking nasty to each other, disrespecting each other? If the blood is boiling, take some time out and cool off. Go away. Have a little time away from it. Settle yourself down. Then come back and talk about your feelings and listen to each other. You are not the only one struggling. Try to remember this. If you want your relationship to thrive, learning how to manage this conflict is essential. And here's 3 tips that I come up with that help me during times of struggle and times of doing it tough in loving relationships. Communicate openly and honestly with each other. It is really important to talk about your feelings with each other. This one seems really obvious, but it's really often easier said than done. It can be challenging to open up about our thoughts and feelings, especially when we fear rejection or feeling hurt in situations of conflict. But if we want our relationships to survive, we must communicate these feelings and thoughts openly and honestly as you possibly can with our partners. Otherwise, resentment can build and eventually explode. So you've got to talk about these feelings and thoughts. And the other thing is, be willing to compromise with each other. In any relationship, you have to do this. But especially in loving relationships, there will be times when you'll have to compromise on something in there. Maybe, as an example, your partner wants to watch a movie you're not particularly interested in. Or perhaps they want to go out for some dinner when all you want to do is have a night in and get a pizza. Whatever the case may be, it's essential to be willing to meet on a level playing field with your partner. It's really important, because if you don't do that, one will be higher than the other. And that doesn't mean always giving in or always having things your own way. But it does mean being open to hearing your partner out and finding a middle ground that works for both of you. There is so much power in listening. And the third one is try not to take things personally. I know it's so hard. When we disagree with our partners, it's easy to take their words or actions to heart personally. But it's important to remember that they're not necessarily attacking us as individuals, how hard that seems and feels at the time. Like you, they're just communicating their needs or wants in the best way they know how, which may not always be the most effective way for you. If we can separate the person from the problem, finding a resolution that works for both will be so much easier. Even get a third party involved to be impartial if you have to. Whatever works is the answer to this commitment that you have both made to each other. And remember, it's really important to remember, conflict is inevitable in any loving relationships. But the real trick is how we deal with it. Matters the most by learning to communicate, as I said, openly and honestly about our feelings. Try not blaming each other in conflict. What I used to do, I used to use iMessages. For example, I would say, I feel really hurt at the moment. I feel disappointed. I feel sad. I feel jealous. I feel scared. I feel rejected. When this happens, always be willing to compromise and not take things personally. We can set ourselves up for success in love if we remember this. So the next time you disagree with your partner or argue, try these tips and see if they work for you or your partner. Remember, love is a commitment. So personal, internal work will be required from both partners to this commitment to gel ultimately just near as one. You have a great day and stay committed. Look after yourselves.